Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Thursday, it's November 7th, and quick look at our chart lesson. Here's a look at our daily chart, and you can see that the rally continued today, another upward day. Nothing like, nothing quite like yesterday, but still a really strong move up. We're well into overbought territory. I guess as we're trying to reach this upward trend channel, and we may do that. So Um, I mean, occasionally prices do push through as they did down here, well through that brown line. But generally, when they get in between those two, between the upper and the final upward, the last two bands of the upper side are the last two bands of the downside. You can see here it reversed, here it reversed, here you got past it. Here it reversed, here it reversed, here it reversed. So generally it doesn't push through there, but it did today for certain. So really strong trend, and yeah, there it is. A couple of things. I've got a little bit of a scratchy throat, so I may have to pause occasionally. And um, if I get choked up here, it's because my throat's a little scratchy this morning, or it was this morning when I woke up. And anyway, the other thing is somebody had mentioned to me that basically the quality of the videos was not as good. And for whatever reason, I've been noticing that it's saying it's going to take 70 to 100 minutes for YouTube to get it up to high def. So it should be, all the videos should be, I think they upload in SD. I think they do that just to, to save on bandwidth and to get them uploaded a little quicker. But once you upload them, they process them and they process them up to the whatever the maximum you set it for. And mine are all set for, it's actually the step above HD. I think it's FHD if I remember right, something like that. But anyway, I just happened to go check yesterday, and I did notice the first minute or so of yesterday's video looked really off, uh, but it was just like the first minute, 30, 45 seconds, something like that. And then after that, it looked like it was all HD, and I checked the video from the day before, and it was fine. So if you're noticing anything like that, let me know. But if you're going to look at the video as soon as you get the notice that it uploaded, you're probably not going to be watching it in HD because, like I said, YouTube's been notifying me that it was going to be. Lately, it's been at least over an hour before it would go to HD quality. So anyway, just be aware of that. I thought I would mention it. So, but here we are. We've really rallied up here. We're in overbought territory. We've clearly made a new high. We've actually had a couple of swings up to a new high. So who knows what this thing's going to do when it turns. We've had the break of the channel and more than a couple of swings to a new high. Doesn't mean we're going to reverse yet. Sometimes rallies can go a lot longer than you expect them to. The market seems to have liked the fact that the election results of Trump being elected. So I don't know what to think. I do know that Trump's he's pro business, so he's gonna try to set the tax rates, and his policies are going to be in favor of lower taxes for the corporations and stuff, and that's going to be a good sign for them, I'm sure. Interest rates, interest rates are still coming down, so it's all interesting. Uh, we'll see what happens, but the last few days have been strong rallies. Anyway, let's flip over to the 2000 tick chart, take a look at what the day looks like overall there, and we'll go through the trades. But let's flip over there. And here it is. And you can see that we had this big rally. Finally got a break a little after 10 o'clock, right around 10, slightly thereafter. Moved to a new high. And then we corrected for a little while into the 1 o'clock news. And we just kind of chopped around after that, moved a little higher, and then sold off of that somewhat afterwards. So Again, most of the movement came early. It wasn't all in the overnight today like it was yesterday. We did rally up until about just before the 12 o'clock when you basically want to get flat. Anytime there's an FOMC announcement, you want to be flat. There was also a 7:30 unemployment claims down here, but you want to be flat for that too. Anything red, generally, you want to be flat, and you definitely want to be flat by noon on this thing because sometimes you don't get much movement going into the news, and if you're not out by noon, you might get stuck in a trade, and you don't want this to happen to you because it doesn't matter whether you were long or short here, you're going to get stopped out one way or the other. Now maybe you get stopped out with a profit, but you can't guarantee that, and you're going to get stopped out one way or the other. I think your best just to be flat an hour prior, and that way there's no mistakes. There's no chance of getting stuck in a trade and prices not moving. Because I've seen it go like this from 12 o'clock right into one. No, I mean that tight, not anything, not any movement outside it, right into the 1 o'clock. And if you get in that, you're probably not gonna get out. So I recommend you be out by noon. This is all Central Time because the report comes out at 1 p.m. Central Time. You'll have to, if you're in a different time zone, you'll have to do the math for yourself. Those are the times. It's always a 1 p.m. Central Time announcement here. But anyway, there it is. Really nice rally. There's several good trades here. There's a few green ones. But you had to really be patient because of the news this morning. The first real entry I saw possibility was just after the open. Notice we just made a new high. And also notice we hadn't got back up to the new high. We were kind of fading off here. But right off the EMA, you get a first. Let me zoom in here. I'm sorry. You get a first entry, second entry. It's not at the key entry point. This is a minor key entry point, but it's the second entry, all the same. And if you look across there, we really tried to go lower 3 times. So I think you could almost call that a triple test too. So maybe you go long there. It's not a perfect setup by any means, but maybe you go long there. And then you come back over here. This is just a first entry, but you clearly got a triple test by now. And it does come right off the key entry point as well. So I like going long on that one. You had to ride it out a minute, but it takes off and turns out to be a fairly decent trade. You probably don't get a runner on this one, unfortunately. It comes back and gets the break even stops, but that's the way it works sometimes. We're running on up, and then we're just chopping sideways here. But again, you get another triple test right off the key entry point. Nice signal bar. It's just a first entry, but it doesn't matter because it's a triple test and it's a range. So I like going long there. Again, you probably don't get a big runner or anything. You might have had trouble getting in this one because it gaps over, and so you probably had to use a limit order. And it's whether or not you'd have got filled would depend on how quick you were, how prices reacted there. But this thing continues to chop on higher here. And these are all just first entry, first entry, first entry. And then we're chopping sideways. And I didn't see anything here I like. There's not room to scalp out really to go up on that one. And this signal bar I don't like. And then this signal bar I don't like either. This would have been a nice move down, but it just wasn't a good setup. If you had a good bearish bar there, by all means go short. When we trend down, you get a close outside new low and a second entry long right there, way away from the EMA. Just go long right there. I mean, you're going to retest the high on a trend like that. And this is a spike and channel up. So if you didn't get this one right, it's probably because you didn't see that it was a spike and channel, and you probably went somewhere off of here or something. But that's definitely a spike and channel up. We continue to chop higher, just continues to chop higher. And you get a first entry and another second entry here. Now we've already had a break and 2 legs up, but it's continuing to go, so I still like that one. So, and then you get another one here. The only reason I made this one green is because these looked more overlapped. This looks like rejection. Here you made a quick double bottom and then rocketed out of there. Here, I mean, if it breaks above this, you're way above all this stuff here. Here, you're right in the middle of this little congestion. So I still like it. It's a little aggressive. There's a triple test here as well. I think you could argue that's a triple test, but the signal bar is not the greatest. I mean, it's a possibility. If you had a good signal bar there, by all means, go long. And then I don't think you had a chance at much of anything else into the news. And then you got to wait till it kind of settles down. And by the time it got here, I think you could, this bar was opened at, well, it's 13:24. I don't know if that's the close time or the open time. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But anyway, you've had 20 minutes or so there to 20 minutes or so there to kind of figure out what's going on. And there's a high or low here, but I just think and again, you might take that. There's plenty of room to scalp out, so maybe you still take that one too. And then it turns down up here. Of course, you failed on. It's a breakout. It's probably going to fail. It is a second entry short. You need to wait on a lower high, and plus you don't have a break and a new high in place there yet either. So I'm not as crazy about that one, but there's a good chance it's going to fail and come back. And then same thing out the other side. It fails, and you get a second entry long right here. Nice signal bar again too, and way away from the EMA. It's probably going to fail. And here you do at least get a break and new low too, so I like that one even better. Again, you're better off to wait on the higher low, which doesn't come. We moved too far here to consider that a higher low. And then you just get a first entry here with no decent signal bar. Now there's a second entry right here. You can't trade that on the engulfing bar. So you'd have to wait for this to close. It's not the perfect signal bar. I think it still probably closes in its upper 1/3. So maybe you go long there. I marked it green. And then, of course, this is a double top. This clearly looks like one leg and then a second leg back. And this really only looks like one leg down, even though you got a break there. So I think you can look at that as a two-legged pullback. But even if you don't, this is a double top, and you still get a second entry there. So I like going long on that one. Now, the bars are still, it's still a little volatile. Some of these bars are still a little large. I mean, that's 14 ticks. But that's just, it's the way it is. We just had the FOMC news, and things do get, things go back and forth about how volatile they are at times. And so you just have to decide if it's worth the risk for you or not, or try some alternative entry or whatever. But anyway, you got your break of the green one here, two legs up to a new high, and you had this 3-bar matching high, and it breaks higher and fails instantly and turns down. There's still plenty of room back to the EMA. Again, it's a large bar, 14 ticks, but I like it, and it's a nice quick scalp. You're not going to get any more than that out of it, and I think you moved too far down. This is not too far from the highs. I think maybe you could consider that a lower high. The key is just, do you have enough room to scalp out between where you're entering and the EMA? If you do, you could take that trade. And that took us into 230. So it's pretty straightforward today. It was up, break, move to a new high, news, sideways, and we started a new trend here. Actually, you got a break and two legs up right here. So the break didn't come here. It actually came here. And then you got a leg up, a little two-legged correction, another leg up. And that took us into 230. So that's how I saw it today. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, so we'll be back again. We won't be back tomorrow. No chart lessons on Friday, so we won't be back till Monday. But I'll be in the morning for a little bit, and I'll upload the mid-morning chart. But no chart lessons on Fridays. I like to get out here by noon on Friday. So Anyway, I hope you had a good trading day. I hope it's been an interesting week with the election and all. I wasn't really sure what to expect. I mean, it doesn't feel, I mean, other than the rally after the election, it doesn't feel much different than any other election to me. I mean, we talked about that Monday going into Tuesday's election that, some people asked me if they thought it was safe to trade and stuff. And I mean, normally it's just the same as any other trading day. Now, this year I thought would be a little different, but it's been fairly quiet. I mean, Trump basically won by a landslide, and which might have surprised some people. I'm not completely surprised at all, but I definitely think our economic policies will be 100 times better under Trump. So I think we got good things to look forward to. I think this market we're overdue for a correction. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a correction, but if Trump can get everything lined up and get it going and uh, start drilling again and get our gas back down, I think we're in for some good times coming along here. Um, I'm no um, economic expert by any means, though. So, but I just know that Trump's going to do what it takes to get the economy going, and so we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I'll see you on Monday. I'm done for today. I'm done for this week. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.